Hey folks, Eric Lima here. You are watching yet another episode from my pilot season mini-series. Bridging, this is connecting WEML-TV of 2020 to go into the third season of my YouTube saga, known as WEML-TV Channel 77. This is called the Bridge Up. It bridges both the second and third seasons during this special holiday season. Since I reached 1,000 episodes before Thanksgiving, and what I'm going to do all this time is to give you sneak previews about what's going on, what's happening, and we will do this. Some new stuff, cool stuff, and I hope you guys enjoy it. All right, let's get to it. Right now, we're going to talk NXT UK Recap, what just happened today. Crazy stuff going down as usual. I think NXT UK since its return, they brought some great matches. A few weeks ago, it was Dragunov versus Walter for the UK title, NXT UK heavyweight championship. It was a well fought matchup. It kicked off with Gallous's leader Joe Coffey, the Iron King. Gallus boys on top. I like Gallus. They got a cool theme song too. Boom. Hey yo, boom boom boom, boom 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 boom. Hey yo, boom 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 boom. Hey yo, boom 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 boom. Hey yo, I love that. It's like it's kind of a good bop, you know. It's like you can listen to the kind and go, bow. And you do a little dance, so like a little the Devon Dudley dance, you know. I like the Gallus boys on top. They took on the Thunder. They took on the Thunder Storm, Sam Gradwell, and it was a hard fought matchup. And but Gradwell's knee kind of cost him in the end there, a little hurting. And then Joe Coffey did pick up the victory, the Iron King. I would not be surprised if Joe Coffey's next in line to get a NXT UK title shot. I think see Scotland dominate. We got Drew McIntyre back as champion once again, so it's going to be something to look out for. Sid Scala decided to make an announcement about the sanctioning matches for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, but Jordan Devlin kind of mouthed off at him, Sid Scala a little bit. But then Amir Jordan and Kenny Williams said, hey, you know, Kenny Williams is, you know, not medically cleared to compete after that NXT UK Heritage Cup tournament. More on that. And then Amir Jordan says, hi, I'll take a shot. So, a one-on-one matchup. Jordan Devlin goes next week. Jordan Devlin goes one-on-one with Amir Jordan. So, that'll be a heck of a matchup. It's already said here. And then Ilya Dragunov addresses the NXT in a little document, a little footage about what happened a few weeks ago. So we will see what the future holds for Dragunov and Walter for the NXT UK Heavyweight Championship. That'll be something. Alexander Wolf was about to address that situation until Gallus is whooping and hollering, celebrating Coffey's victory over Gradwell. And then all of a sudden Alexander Wolf got annoyed by it, and Wolf confronts Coffey about it. He says, how about this? You cost me a chance at the match. You and I think we should have a match. So I would not be surprised if Alexander Wolf and Joe Coffey, the Iron King, line up. That'll be something to behold. Pretty Deadly in a great tag, one of the fast-rising tag teams in NXT UK. They kind of, if you look at Pretty Deadly, there's Lewis Holly and Sam Stoker. All right, these two guys, okay, these two young bucks here. They do look like the Young Bucks a little bit. They do remind me of the Young Bucks in AEW. But also they remind me a little bit of the Rockers back in the day. The Rockers. You talk about the Hardys. That's not a tag team, you know. And, you know, they had that mold, like the Young Bucks, Hardys, and the Rockers. If you compare, and that's what Pretty Deadly reminds me of. A little bit of if Fandango's DNA mixed them up with all three of those tag teams. And a little bit of Rick Martel's. You got Pretty Deadly. Fast rising tag team. They went against another rising tag team, Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter. And Pretty Deadly did pick up the victory despite the grabbing of the tights. It was a high-spirited contest, to say the least. But watch out for Pretty Deadly and watch them in the future. They are going to be seeking Gallus out for those NXT UK Tag Team Championship. Watch them in the future. I think pretty deadly. They got potential to be champions. There's no doubt. But I'm sure there's a lot of other teams like the Hunt, Webster and Andrews. A little bit more on them. Speaking of Morgan, Webster and Andrews, Andrews was so ticked off about what happened to them. And they infuriated by what Eddie Dennis did and the Hunt did. Andrews and Dennis were friends for a long time, and Morgan Webster and Wild Boar were friends for a long time too. And for Eddie Dennis to get in between all that, it seems like the South Wales subculture and the Hunt, they're on a collision course, folks. I'm looking forward to seeing that matchup one day. And the NXT UK Superstars addressed Rampage Brown's debut from last week, and they like what they see, and they've seen him fight for 20 years, and they know what he's all about, and they respect him. And I'll tell you, Rampage Brown could be the NXT UK's answer to The Undertaker in that aspect for him wrestling that long, 20 years. That'll be something that can never be duplicated, and it'd be something. Well, a lot of legends, Undertaker going for 30 years, his Sunday's final farewell, and I gotta tell you, and Rampage Brown, I wouldn't be past me if he would be a threat to the NXT UK Heavyweight Championship. Walter better watch his back. He's got a target. You got Dragunov who probably wants another shot at it, possibly. Joe Coffey stepping up to the plate, and possibly Rampage Brown, fast rising star in NXT UK, but he's been around in the British independent wrestling scene for 20 years, like Nigel McGuinness says. Nigel McGuinness and Eddie Shepherd are a pretty good announcing team in NXT UK. Gotta respect those two gentlemen for doing the heck of a job in the midst of unique situations. Levi Muir was another fast rising star in the NXT UK brand. Takes on, there he goes, Saxon Huxley. I like this guy. Saxon Huxley is a Bruiser Brody throwback, a little bit of Berserker throw. Remember the Berserker? Huss. Saxon Huxley reminded me of him. Reminded me of those two gentlemen. And those two legendary gentlemen. And Saxon Huxley, in a high-spirited contest, did pick up the victory over Levi Muir. There he goes, Saxon Huxley. Stay away from him. And Saxon Huxley is going to be one of the most unique individuals to look out for. And trust me when I say this, I wouldn't put past me for it. Walter's going to have a lot of contenders, and Saxon Huxley, if he keeps throwing victory after victory, it will be only a matter of time. Saxon Huxley could be in the middle of things. We'll see what happens. And as you know, next week, like I said, Jordan Devlin, the Cruiserweight champ, going one-on-one a non-title match against Amir Jordan. But also next week, the Heritage Cup Finals. Trent Seven versus A-Kid. They had a little documentary on those two guys. And I'll tell you one thing. It's talking about the veteran versus the young upstart. It's going to be a heck of a matchup. Let me tell you, who am I going to pick in that final? I have to give the edge and experience to Trent Seven in that matchup. That's something that's going to be a heck of a matchup. And then the main event was Falls Count Anywhere for the NXT UK Women's Championship. Kaylee Ray, the champion, going against a lovely Piper Niven. I like Piper Niven. She's cute. She's cute. And these two ladies fought all over the place. And Kaylee Ray decided to walk with Elias with a Jeff Jarrett moment by smashing Piper Niven in the back with a guitar. That was back there. I'm like, ouch. And Piper Niven was set to possibly win the NXT UK Women's Championship by possibly throwing Kaylee Ray off a top hot tie cart. Now, Ginny got herself involved twice. The first time around was in the studio near the ring, attacking Piper Niven, and then once again, after Niven took care of her and knocked her out of the way, and she was about to finish Kaylee Ray off, I think probably a Piper driver on top of that table, but Ginny prevented that from happening by smacking Piper Niven in the back with a steel chair, and then both of them went to the table, but Kaylee Ray's arm draped over the shoulders of Piper Niven, and the referee counted 3, so Kaylee Ray's still champion. So what does that mean? The women's division is going to need someone to really take that title off Kaylee Ray. Kaylee Ray's going to have a long reign of the NXT UK Women's Championship. She has been a dominant force, and now that Toni Storm's in the States and can no longer compete for the title, so I don't know, something's got to be done. Something's going to be done. I wouldn't be surprised if more women from NXT decide to step up. Will Aoife Valkyrie step up? Will Amal step up? Nina Samuels? Zaya Brookside, anybody, anybody in that. But I gotta tell you, but Ginny, I wouldn't be surprised if Ginny gets a shot at it, but she's gonna deal with a very, very angry Piper Niven in that aspect. So it's gonna be something to behold. It's gonna be crazy to say the least. I tell you what, the WWE, the WWE has really stepped things up. Even in the middle of this pandemic, they try to work their way around and say, hey, the show's got to go on somehow. We got to do this. And I know it has not been very easy because the pandemic has prevented a lot of things from happening. A lot of, fans. That's why I say I think the what if thing, my friend Von Baskin, bless his heart, he's trying to make all these crazy storylines. He's trying to get the thing, trying to get to say Peter Rosenberg and Sam Roberts should wrestle. Man, Michael Cole did it. Yeah, that was Michael Cole. He's been more around in the WWE than these two gentlemen are. That's the only difference. Michael Cole's been there since '97. Rosenberg and Roberts, even though they're longtime wrestling fans, they have not stepped in the ring or anything like that. So it's like, ease up there, Vaughn. That's why I decided to come up with the what would happen in wrestling, or what would happen. Fantasy booking. So that's going to be the fantasy booking. But my girl Io Shirai retained the title. I love Io Shirai. Congratulations. Speaking of wrestling, it looks like Baby Fever has hit a former WWE colleague of the WWE. That would be Renee Young, a.k.a. Renee Paquette, Renee Good. Her and her husband, Jonathan Good, a.k.a. John Moxley, a.k.a. Dean Ambrose, are expecting their first child. Congratulations to the parents to be. That is awesome. So it's really, really cool. But at least so yeah, we miss Renee Young on WWE television. But hey, listen, pandemic can make people do weird things, man. Let me tell you. So it's like okay. But anyways, congratulations, seriously, Renee Young. I think and Renee's going to be an excellent mom, and I'm sure John's going to be an excellent dad. I've got a hunch feeling. And speaking of moms to be, Becky Lynch, only 1 month away from giving birth for her child, posted her baby bump on Instagram. She looks gorgeous. Let me tell you, the lovely lass is Becky Lynch. Let me tell you. And I'll tell you, congratulations to her and Seth Rollins once again for again their first child. So this is going to be very interesting to see what happens now. Once these babies are born and all that, will Becky Lynch get back to work and make some money for her little one? I'm sure a lot of merch will be heading the way. But speaking of WWE.shop.com merch, I'm begging somebody, a WWE shop, to get a William Regal shirt that just basically says War Games on it. They should get I tweeted about this. WWE shop. .com, get on this. We need a William Regal shirt that basically hold the mic and say War Games. Got it. You gotta do that, WWE shop. I'm telling you, I'm begging you on that one. Also at NXT next week, Kevin Owens will be guest commentating alongside Vic Joseph. This is going to be very interesting to say the least. And we'll see what happens in that. We'll see what happens next week on NXT. It's going to be something. All right, then. We got tomorrow night, Friday night, SmackDown, the final SmackDown before Survivor Series. That will be tomorrow. That means there's 2 spots in the women's division left, and I mean one more spot in the men's division in the Survivor Series team for the SmackDown men. We'll see what happens there, and we'll find out. All right. We'll see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful day. This is episode 4 of the Bridge Up, ladies and gentlemen. NXT UK Recap for November 19th, 2020. Next week's Thanksgiving, folks. It's Thanksgiving next week. It's going to be insane, to say the least. It's going to be something else. Like I said, I'm working that morning, 6 to 9 in the morning. If I can go in there and clock in early, I'll get out early, which is fine by me. So, hey, that's the way it is, folks. All right, I'll see you guys later. Peace. Have a wonderful day. Or night, in this case. See ya.